So do you send them a picture for the pillows?
Yeah, so when you're out there, there's like a phone number there. You can text the number, and then like it has to be your time as well, and then you're able to edit it, and boom, he puts it out. It's really cool. This is my dog.
Aww.
She has like golden retrievers. I have a puppy. She's 6 months old. She's really cute. She's the best. I love her. She's naughty though.
I made my pillow picture of my husband in a pink mouse costume, like a onesie.
Oh my
Yep. Oh yeah.
Every time we come to a conference with Next Level Gaming, actually beforehand, because Calvin and I are great friends, he'll call me and say, I have this idea, send me a picture of your husband. So I have all of this stuff, and that's just his face. We're like, yeah, it's very funny. So now our house is just filled with like tchotchkes, like little dolls of Larry. It's weird. If anyone came in and didn't know the context, they'd probably think I was like a stalker.
Yeah, right?
A stalker of your own husband.
Yay. Weird things have happened.
That is true.
If anybody needs water or something, feel free to go get. We're gonna try and make this like light.
It's gonna be fun in the sun. Yay!
Wake everyone up.
Yes.
Oops.
Hi. Come on in.
Hello, hello. You enjoying NAFTA so far?
Absolutely.
Yes, awesome.
Oh, yes, an outlet.
Yeah, the outlets, that's what a lot of people need.
I know, my phone is about to like work.
Yep. These long conference days.
Lots and lots of photos.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
I left all my markers in the
Oh, it's locked in there too.
yeah, that's okay.
I'm uploading your picture.
Right? Can't see it. Hey! Hi.
We're doing working with anyone in here.
Sorry, I'm looking for what else.
You're fine. Oh, it was cute. So what has been your favorite thing so far today? Showcases, ed sessions, exhibit hall, what do you think?
Showcases, but like I was at the exhibit hall, but not from home, so like I want to go back and like.
We have one more today and then two more tomorrow.
Okay.
So you have plenty of time to like make your rounds. Make sure you go to every booth though.
Is it all the same thing? Is that every other?
Every ed session?
No, like
Every exhibit hall?
yeah.
I mean, for the most part, a lot of things don't change. Like the activity at my booth is going to change, but like we all stay in our spots. Yeah, so people don't change over. The showcase that you see, a lot of those artists will come for the exhibit hall after their showcase and then leave. So if there's someone you really liked and want to meet, make sure you do it right after their showcase because there's a chance that they won't stay.
I have energy.
What?
I came in, I was like, yeah, I got some, I was like, I have energy. Yeah, I have energy.
Sammy, you come up here like do the dance party. She has more energy than any person I know.
Except for 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my crash time. Really? Like from 2 to 3. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't want to do anything. But yeah. Oh, I love the other chick. Look at this model. I made her do a photo shoot earlier. I was like, let's go.
We were outside. I was like, this is so amazing. Are there a lot of people walking around still, or is everyone kind of like in there?
I think everybody just went upstairs to their room, whoever's not here.
Fair. Okay, so we're gonna jump in. Hi everyone. Thank you for coming to Working with Anyone. My name is Marissa. I'm a speaker. I'm an 8-time best-selling author. I have a podcast that was pretty cool in 29 countries. So anyways, today we're going to talk about working with anyone, which means incorporating narcissistic personalities. You can come in. Incorporating narcissistic personalities into your workplace, which sounds counterproductive, right? We want narcissists to go away. But a lot of times we don't have a choice, especially because you're in volunteer positions for the most part, right? So you can't really fire people. You can't force them to leave. And a lot of times narcissists will hitch their horse to a higher wagon. Do you know what that means? Like they'll align with somebody in a position that's higher than you so that it's very hard to kick them out, right? They will usually befriend the dean of students or the advisor or director or somebody higher up. So if you try to push them out or try to get them in trouble, they already have a friend in a high place. So it's really, really a challenge to get them out. So the best thing that we can do for our own mental health is to incorporate them into the workplace, into the team, into the organization. And we're not solving their problem, we are giving ourselves relief, right? So that's the mission of this, is to give ourselves that relief. This is very open forum, conversational, so feel free to jump in if you have any questions. I ask a lot of open questions, so participate with me. It makes this way more fun, I promise. All right, so does everyone know what a narcissist is? A narcissist is someone who feels like they're superior to everybody around them, right? They're smarter, they're better, they're prettier. They will do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. It does not matter who they hurt, right? If you criticize them, tell them no, or try and correct them, they'll usually throw a big tantrum, right? Or cause a mess, cause a stir, because they are always right, right? So basically their entire personality revolves around them being better than you or anybody else. I'm right, change my mind. You can laugh. Thank you. I make them, so it makes me feel better. All right, narcissistic personality disorder is actually a diagnosable disorder. And that's not to justify or condone their behavior. That is absolutely not what we're here to do. It is for us to look at it from a different perspective, right? If we reframe their bad behavior, the way they treat and talk to people, as this is not a me problem, right? This is not personal to me, this is their issue. It makes it easier for us to react differently. So instead of internalizing it and saying, why do they hate me? What did I do? You can think, okay, this is clearly a them issue. This is not reflective of me. This is not personal to me. And it makes it much easier for us to kind of step out of it, right? When we're not directly involved in their behavior, or like the behavior is not because of something you did, it's because they are diagnosably, have a personality disorder, diagnosably narcissistic, it takes that pressure off of us to resolve the issue. We're like, okay, not my problem, right? Let them act the way they're gonna act. This is not my issue, and I'm not gonna carry that weight. Take responsibility for yourself, narcissist. That sign won't stop me because I can't read. Thank you. Thank you for the groan. So now knowing what we know about narcissists and what their personalities look like and what their behaviors look like, think of famous people in Hollywood or politics or wherever that are narcissistic. Who do you think? Who's shouting out? Can you think of anybody that has big tantrums or big blowouts when they don't get their way? Or who acts as if they're superior to others, maybe compares themselves to a higher power?
Kanye.
There you go, Kanye. This is usually the first one I get. So Kanye West is actually diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder. He feels like he's superior to everyone. He has very often compared himself to Jesus and God, right? When he doesn't get his way, he throws big tantrums. You can see that with how he treated Taylor Swift, how he treated his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, right? When he didn't get his way, he threw tantrums, he incited violence against Pete Davidson, and then he would love bomb her with these big gestures, right? So these are all classic behaviors of a narcissist. Who else? What do you think?
Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. Why is he a narcissist?
Because you always see him angry.
Say again?
Because you always see him angry.
Because you always see him angry. That doesn't necessarily make him a narcissist, but he is actually also diagnosed narcissistic personality disorder. He thinks he's better than everybody. He thinks he's smarter than everybody. When he doesn't get his way, he blames somebody else, right? He's never accountable for his behaviors, right? He's even gone as far as very recently to say if he loses, it's the Jews' fault, right? Did anyone catch that? He did that like a week or two ago. The vote hasn't even happened yet. He's already blaming people for losing, right? It's not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. Other people are responsible for him losing, right? Who else? What do you think? Can you think of any other celebrities or influencers who, say again?
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat. Why is she a narcissist?
I feel like because she feels like she doesn't care about nobody else's opinion. She thinks she's on top, like she's better than everyone, and she always curses out her fans.
Yeah, so she criticizes her fans, the people who made her famous, and there was a thing, I think in the summer, right, where she was really nasty to fans and then publicly, said like, I don't need you, I'm better than you.
I think that was before that Met Gala where she pulled up looking like a cat. I think it was before then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't remember exactly who it was. But yeah, so she demeans the people around her to elevate herself, right? Especially people who put her in the place where she is, right? Because
That's crazy.
people in Hollywood and singers, and they're nobody without their fans, right? Look at influencers. They are like starving for fans, right? For followers, because that's what puts them on a platform. So for someone to demean the people who are literally amplifying them, it shows that they just don't care, right? They think they're better than everybody anyways. Awesome. Anyone else have anyone? Okay, so this is my list. Kanye's at the top. Nick Cannon. So Nick Cannon and Elon Musk are both narcissists. They both have openly said that they are superior to other people. And I believe they even said that their seed is superior, which is why they are both having as many kids with as many people as possible. They want to repopulate the earth with their superior genetics. So that's very narcissistic of them. Mariah Carey is a narcissist. We know Mariah Carey? So she's narcissistic. She mistreats everyone around her.
Now I know why that marriage didn't work out.
Because two narcissists trying to outdo each other. Truly. So Mariah Carey is known to demean her assistants, the people who work for her. She demeans them and belittles them. She also doesn't pay her vet bills because she thinks that she doesn't have to. She's above it, right? So she has these animals, and then people are taking care of them and making sure they don't die. And then she's like, well, I don't need to pay you. You're not better than anybody else. The vets are anyways. I'm an animal lover. The Kardashians are what are known as somatic narcissists. They use their bodies and their, physique to amplify themselves, right? That's why they all have skincare lines, clothing lines, lingerie lines, because they're using their body to amplify themselves, right? It's still using their, getting plastic surgery to amplify and use their bodies to promote themselves. Does that make sense? So these are all different ways that we see narcissists. And actually they did a study, I believe in 2016, where they assessed the behavior patterns of people in Hollywood and regular civilians, and found that people in Hollywood actually have a higher rate of narcissistic tendencies. So a lot of the people that we see on TV and in movies are actually clinically diagnosable narcissists because they will do whatever it takes to be admired and successful, right? They'll do whatever it takes to be validated. It doesn't matter who they hurt to get there, right? There's a difference between being motivated and wanting to be successful and hurting people to be successful, right? People in this room, we're motivated, we want to do good things, we want to bring positive impacts to campus and fun things and be validated in the fact that we have done incredible stuff and brought these fun activities and musicians and whomever to campus, but you're not hurting people to get there, right? That's the difference. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right, so things that we see with people who are narcissistic. They tend to have poor relationships or like very short friendships or romantic relationships because they don't trust people. They have a hard time trusting anyone else because they think they're smarter and better and they can do it better or they can be better without them. They don't need anyone. So they tend to have very poor or short-term relationships. They have the superiority complex. You can definitely take pictures of these slides too if you want to. The superiority complex, they're extremely emotional too. They have big emotional outbursts that anytime you criticize them or tell them no or try and correct them, they feel like they are much better than you, they're smarter than you. So how dare you correct them, right? They don't take criticism well. And it usually comes with other prominent mental illnesses, so they will usually not go to therapy or anything for narcissistic personality disorder or being narcissistic. If they do seek out therapy, it's for something else, like depression or anxiety. They tend to be pretty eccentric as well. Has anyone seen Anchorman? No? Oh man, that makes me sad.
So what are you doing?
I need to use this machine so I can watch tape for a story run.
Well, I'm using the tape. I'm showing Jeffrey here my indicator watching history.
Mr. Burgundy, I'm a professional, and I would like to be able to do my job.
Well, big deal. I am very professional.
Mr. Burgundy, you are acting like a baby.
I'm not a baby. I'm a man. I'm an anchor man.
You are not a man. You are a fat joke.
I'm a man who discovered the wheel and built the Eiffel Tower out of metal and bronze. That's what kind of man I am. You're just a one with a small brain. With a brain a third the size of us. It's science.
I will have you know that I have more talent and more intelligence in my little finger than you do in your entire body, sir.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
You look like a blueberry.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Well, you have bad hair.
I think that's how
What
they
did
do
she say?
it. That's only for girls.
Your hair looks stupid.
Yeah. It's only right. It's fair. It's only right. She's still being bro.
Okay. All right. So what narcissistic traits did we see in that video clip?
His meltdown.
He had a meltdown when she criticized his hair, right? Of all the things that were said, that's what sparked him, and he lost control, right? What else?
Superiority.
Superiority, right? I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, right? He feels above everyone else. What else?
You think he's entitled?
Putting his needs first before the woman.
Putting his needs first before anyone, right? So the story of Anchorman is they all work for a news station, right? So they have a TV that they need to use for work. And he was putting his needs before her ability to work, right? What else? Did you notice what they were watching?
Video of himself.
They're watching a video of himself getting an award. But it was the point of the point of this speech where they were musicking him off the stage, right? Like at the Oscars, when people talk too long, they start to play the music. They were doing that to him, and he was having a meltdown because they were telling him to get off the stage, right? And did we see? Come on in. Did we see the intern that was sitting there? Did you notice that? He was sitting there totally stone-faced. He like wasn't even.
He didn't want to be there.
He didn't want to be there, and Ron was making him stay there and watch it, right? So he had a huge emotional meltdown because they were telling him to get off the stage. He was forcing someone to watch a video of him getting an award, right? That's validation, right? What else? What about their interaction? Like him and Veronica. What were they saying to each other? she was not saying nice things either, but the gravity of what he was saying, calling her a hooker, calling her a whore, was much different than you look like a blueberry, right? Very different. He could not handle being criticized, and so instead, he was demeaning her, right? And saying things that were like actually very offensive. Say again?
I said, hey, he went for the kill.
Yeah, and he went right for the throat, right? So you see the emotional meltdowns, you see his very self-validating behavior, you see him demeaning the people around him, right? So all of that are behaviors of a narcissist. And I really like watching The Intern, so if you do ever watch this movie, Anchorman, watch The Intern. It is hysterical. This whole thing is happening around him, and he's just like completely comatose, not even there. It's very, to me, that's funny. Anyways, open trust, empathy, humility, opposite juice. And we've made a narcissist. All right, so how do these behaviors show on a team? They are not good on a team, right? They're not team players. They're very self-fulfilling. So they'll do whatever they have to sabotage the team as long as they get credit, right? They don't care if the team succeeds as long as they succeed, right? If they're given a task that they don't want to do, they'd rather derail, they'd rather derail the whole project or program or event than do something that they don't want to do. They're always right. So if you have something, if you're brainstorming or organizing and they don't like what you're saying, they have a different idea, they're right? Nothing else matters. Does that make sense? Is everyone just very tired? Okay. Wake up, we still have a lot more to do. After this, you still have dinner and a showcase and like another thing. I think 2 more showcases. All right, why did we fail the project? We didn't communicate, you procrastinated. I did my part, it's all your fault. No, you kicked that person out the window. Don't actually do that, that's not legal advice. This is my favorite meme. I know it's a little dark, but I made it and it makes me happy every time I see it. Group success, narcissists. It's a little dark, but I think it's very fun. Anyways, all right, so we know what narcissists are. We know why they're bad for a team. So how do we incorporate them into the team? We've talked about all the reasons we can't stand to have them on a team, but again, they're very hard to remove. So I have a method called my FUSE method. First, you focus on facts, not feelings. You use their ego to your advantage, set healthy boundaries, and evidence, document everything, F-U-S-E. So first, we focus on facts, not feelings. They will find anything they can to manipulate you, right? If you're focusing on the feelings of it, it makes me feel bad when you insert whatever. We just taught them how to manipulate us, right? Because now they know that it bothers you when they do something. They'll poke the bear to try and make you react so they look like a hero, right? Or so you look like the bad guy. But if we focus on the facts of it, this program is next week. We need a flyer done by 5 o'clock today, right? At 5:05, if they don't have the flyer ready and that was their job, then that's a fact. We needed this 5 minutes ago. You need to do that part, right? Or if you set a boundary, like, let's save questions to the end, right? If they interrupt meetings a lot, and you say, let's save all questions to the end, and we'll answer them then, and they continue to interrupt. Fact, I set a boundary, we said we're saving questions to the end, please stop interrupting, right? Instead of it makes me feel bad when you interrupt me, or it's frustrating for me when you interrupt me, now every time they want to get under your skin, they're going to interrupt you, right? Think of like a toddler. When you tell them no, don't touch the grill or the oven or the stove or whatever, don't play with this, it can hurt you, they keep doing it, right? It's kind of the same idea. So instead of focusing on the feelings of it, it makes me feel bad when, or it bothers me that you, right? Focus on the fact of the matter. And know that they will often try to frustrate you, right? That is like their MO. If they make you look bad, they look good. It's a demeaning tactic, right? So stay calm. Even if that means having to excuse yourself from a conversation, go to the bathroom and like yell, or throw some cold water on your face, you need to present calm to them, because we teach them, again, how to manipulate us. If they know that they're getting under your skin or that they're making you tense, they're going to keep poking the bear, right? They're gonna do that in order to frustrate you because they want you to look bad. It raises them up, it amplifies them. So by staying calm, we're not engaging in their chaos. We're not engaging in their attempt to hurt us and frustrate us, and it makes them look bad, right? We are here solely to keep our sanity. We don't want the headache of fighting with them. It's not worth it. You're not going to win. They're 3-year-olds. They're going to keep annoying you until you explode. So if you go in knowing that, stay calm, don't engage with them, ignore their nonsense, and just like don't engage in it. It's like a bully, right? They'll just get bored and they'll stop eventually. Using your ego to your advantage. If they are really good at graphic design, let them make the flyer, right? It makes them feel good and it relieves you of a headache, right? If they're really good at networking and they love to be engaged with people and try and get people to your events, let them do it. Not because you're feeding into them, but because it relieves you of the headache, right? Giving them something they're good at gives them the validation that they need, and it relieves you of the headache that you don't want, right? Again, we're not training people, we're not changing their behavior. We can't change anyone's behavior. They're gonna act the way they act. But to create calm and sanity, the best thing to do is like, you know what? You're really good at networking. Why don't you go tell people about the event today at noon? If you do that, it'll look really good on you for getting all these people there, right? We're kind of just it's like manipulating the manipulator, right? We're kind of playing their game, but again, we just want to relieve ourselves of the headache. If you delegate something that they'll succeed at, they're more likely to do it, right? And follow through because it makes them feel good. Do you know what boundaries are? Everyone knows what a boundary is? Someone tell me what a boundary is.
A boundary is a way for you to tell a person that, to tell them when to stop.
Yeah, it's a guideline that we set that allows other people to know what we expect from them and what they can expect from us. Right, when we set a boundary, like the word no is a boundary. If you said, hey, let's go get some food, I'd love to hang out. And I said, no, you know that I don't want to hang out, or that I can't right now. And I know that, or my expectation is that you're not going to keep asking me, right? You can obviously be nicer about it. Like, hey, I really can't right now, I'm really busy, maybe another time. Also a boundary, right? The expectations are clear, right? So if you set a healthy boundary with them, say, going back to the meeting, if you're in a meeting and they keep interrupting the meeting or keep asking questions and it's starting to really make the meeting go long, and your boundary is, hey, you know what, let's save all questions to the end, and then afterwards you can ask me, or at the end you can ask as many questions as you want, or if we run out of time, come talk to me and we'll answer the questions then. It's a way for them to be held accountable, right? Everybody in the room knows that we're waiting till the end, and if they keep doing it and disrespecting you, it makes them look bad. So likely they won't do that because they don't want to look bad, right? But if they do, then that is their problem. You can continue to set the boundary. Listen, I said we're saving questions to the end. Please don't interrupt me again. It's a fact. They can't refute it, right? And when you set healthy boundaries, it gives you that sense of peace and calm. You know that you're not the problem, right? It kind of protects us. It's like a barrier. Not setting boundaries. I immediately regret this decision. And E, evidence. Documenting everything. Sometimes, oftentimes, narcissists will just keep poking the bear, right? They want to get their way, they want to annoy you, they want to make people look bad. So even while you're doing the rest of these steps, keeping a documentation of everything they're doing, when they start to throw tantrums, or if they say something nasty or attack somebody, if they continue to disrespect boundaries. There are a lot of ways that you can document that. One of my favorites, what I have done in the past, is I created an email account that only I had access to and the password for, and anytime, personal story, I used to work for the military, and I had a coworker who was super narcissistic, and he was also stalking me. He would show up at my house, he would make very awful threats. And what really, the straw that broke the camel's back was one day I was on my bed, we were not talking, there was no context or anything, and all of a sudden I get a text message saying, that blue pillow you're laying on looks really comfortable. And I was terrified. That's when I started documenting everything. I went through old messages and screenshotted everything that made me uncomfortable or feel unsafe. I started trying to document, like back document everything that he was doing and saying that made me uncomfortable at work and at home. And that was really hard, because having to go back and try and remember dates and times and everything was a challenge. So what I strongly suggest, and what I did, was make a separate email account, and anytime moving forward there was any interaction or altercation or issue, I would send an email from whatever account I was on directly to that email, so everything was timed, dated, and I put as much detail as I could. What was happening, who was around, what was said, how it made me feel, and any evidence. So if there was any text messages, or if it was something that he said or sent me, all of that went to one place. So when I escalated it, right, so if you have a narcissist on your team and it ultimately needs to be escalated to somebody higher up, I had everything in one email account. All I had to do is open that email account, and I had a whole chain of documentation. And I said, this is a pattern, this is a problem. And anytime anyone tells him no, he comes and menacingly walks past my cubicle 400 times and stares in it, right? And then my boss had to actually go and, corner him and be like, if you walk past his cubicle one more time, I don't remember what the threat was, but it was not good. And my boss really had my back, which made me feel very safe. But, having all that evidence and that documentation validated my claims, right? It's a great way to track patterns. So if there's a time of year that they tend to act out, or if it's, when they're in a certain mood, they act out, or if it's a day of the week, or when there's something coming up, they start to act bad, or if it's towards one specific person, right? If somebody says something that makes them mad, or somebody says something at all and contributes, and that's just a person they don't like, and then they act out, you have all of that documented, right? And it's so much easier to prove the problem and escalate it and have it handled than if they have you when you're frantic going to them and saying, well, they've done this 15 times. Okay, give me an example. Well, who thinks clearly when they're frustrated or flustered? Nobody. Our brains are going, right? So if you have everything in one place, it's so much easier to say, okay, what example do you want? I have 50, all in emails right here, and everyone who was around, and what was said, and any context to it, right? It just makes your life easier. So even when they're not acting up all the time, if you have one person on your team that is causing a disturbance to the rest of the team, and other people on the team have this email and can send in examples, it is much easier to prove that this is not bullying, that this is not, you targeting somebody, that it is a pattern of behavior that's making the team feel unsafe. You could do it in an email, you could do it in a Google Doc or something like that, like a Google folder. You could even have on a notepad on your phone, but that's a little bit more challenging. It's not backed up anywhere. Maybe you can't access it all the time, or other people can't access it if they need it, right? So documenting everything, it just covers your butt, right? And having all of that information, again, allows us to track patterns. All right, so we talked about what to do. Just a real quick what not to do with a narcissist. Don't accept unnecessary blame. They don't take accountability when they do something wrong, but they'll take credit when something goes right, right? Don't let them throw you under the bus, because it makes you look bad, and it just kind of proves them right, right? Don't believe everything they tell you. They'll often lie to get their way or manipulate. And don't expect them to be accountable, because they won't be, right? They'll never accept the blame for something that goes wrong. So there's a lot of things not to do. Don't fight with them or engage in their chaos. Don't give in to them. And don't let them gaslight you, right? If they're trying to do we know what gaslighting is? It's manipulating, but to make us feel crazy, right? It's taking manipulation a step further. It would be like if, let's say, we were chatting, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby, I'm sorry. We met earlier and I forgot. Okay, so it would be like if Gabby and I had, gone out to lunch a week ago. And then Gabby said, oh, I had a lot of fun at lunch with you. And I was like, what are you talking about? We've never gone out to lunch. Like, you must be imagining things. That's nuts, right? But it's more than just manipulating a situation. It's me telling her she's crazy so that she won't she won't believe her memories, she won't believe her reality, she won't believe her experiences. Instead, I have mind control, and moving forward, she's going to doubt everything that she remembers about me, and when I say something, she's more likely to believe me. So that's another thing that they do quite a bit, is try and gaslight situations so that they are never to blame, and you feel crazy, and they can control and manipulate you easier. Don't let them do that. Don't let them manipulate you. Narcissists. I don't want to play with you anymore. Don't play their game. Don't engage with them. Final piece of advice. People with narcissistic personality disorder usually don't change. They don't seek help. They don't think they need to because they think they're better, smarter, they're fine, they're always right. They're better than everybody. And advice from an expert, treat them, act as if they're 3-year-olds. How would you treat a 3-year-old in that situation, right? They're gonna tell you no. They're gonna push boundaries. They're gonna do all this stuff. And we're not gonna yell at them, right? We're like, you're 3, you know. I mean, you could scold them, fine. But for the most part, we're like, you're 3, like, you're annoying. You know what I mean? We're not going to take it personally. It's not on us. So if you act as if, or change your mindset to think like, okay, this person is like a 3-year-old, it won't impact us so much. We won't internalize it so much, right? So act as, and don't condescend at them, it just inflames them, right? But if you internally feel like, okay, they're like a 3-year-old, I'm not gonna let this bother me, this is not my problem. It's just better for us and our mental health and our well-being, right? It allows us to kind of let it go. All right, working with a narcissist, feel like. Awesome. Thank you very much for coming. That's the end of the ed session. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to come chat with me after. But I have this QR code up here. The QR code should take you to a 7-question survey. I think you guys have been doing this all day, right? Pretty much? Yeah? Okay. So it takes you to a survey. And if you go all the way to the end, you get a free copy of my internationally best-selling book, The Healing from Emotional Abuse Philosophy, The 3 Keys to Overcoming Narcissism. It should go right to your email. So thank you very much again for coming, and enjoy dinner.
Woo. Thank you.
Perfect.
I gotta stamp them out.
That's what I figured. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Stamp?
Yeah.
You don't want to get stamped?
Oh, sure.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you don't get the stamp, you don't get the certificate.
Thank you.
Gotta get that certificate. Of course. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
I don't remember going.
Trying to get out of here quick, just like y'all.
Yeah, go get in line for dinner. So you can
I don't even think I want dinner. I want
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi.
You got a sandwich.
Ooh, very exciting.
Go step my own.